doing film from theater.
Hi, thank you. Well, I'm very honored to be here, and thank you for checking that out. That was really neat to see on the big screen. I still cried. I cry every time. I cried the whole time making it. Jeremy can tell you I cried all the time. Yeah, I think that I was just really fortunate to get hooked up with Jeremy, and we come from very different backgrounds, and I think that's part of what made the magic was his knowledge of working in film and with cameras, and my experience working with actors and being able to ask and answer good questions and draw things out. I think that it's a very similar experience to when you're working on stage. You need to know the story you're telling and why, and what reaction you're trying to elicit out of your audience. So it's a very similar thing. Does that make sense? Is that a good answer? Thank you.
That's awesome. Tucker, I'd love to hear, like, you were assistant camera and then you got to move up to DOP in the next project. So you want to tell us a little bit about your journey from getting Nelson working. I worked with you and doing the film camps, and now you're doing it. It's awesome. Let's hear it.
Thank you. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, when I was a teenager, I used to work at the Civic Theatre alongside Jason as a projectionist back in the day. So it's pretty fun to see a film that I shot up on the big screen here. Yeah, no, it was great. I have known Jeremy's work for a while just through the action sports scene, having done that myself as well. And then we connected on The First Dance. I helped crew for that film, and then we kind of kept in touch, and I was lucky enough to land a little bit of grant funding through it was a bit of a silver lining of the whole pandemic situation, and approached Jeremy, who had the script of Dawn in his back pocket, and we just clicked on it and started jamming on it, and kept the creative flow going, and just went right into the second film, which, yeah, it was a blast to shoot.
On the topic of funding, how did you fund the short films? Like, with you have big budgets with the action films, but like, did you seek out funding, or was this totally self-produced?
No, so I've been lucky enough to do action sports, and I was lucky enough to do a few commercials right before the pandemic. So I had just enough for one secret ingredient. So 90% of the crews are all volunteer, and we put most of our money towards amazing catering. And if you have really good catering, you can get the best out of every crew. So that's where the budget went to.
Trade beer for lighting equipment. Yeah. But the performances were phenomenal. Like, were those professional actors that you had for both films, or?
For the first one, it was all local actors, and Lisel was able to source all of them and connect me with the incredible talent in Nelson. And then for the second one, we reached out as far as Vancouver, but even where Corey's from, close to here, Fruitvale. So yeah, as local as we could. I don't know. That's been the silver lining for this with me, is just how gifted the local community is here. I don't think it gets celebrated enough, and we have so many amazing people. And everyone I've sat down and had a beer with is like, I love being here, but I go to Vancouver to work. I go here to work, and I was like, okay, well, there's a lot of these people. Let's make a film. So yeah.
Awesome, thanks. And I want to talk about, Carlo, you shot that film in 16 millimeter, and that's a bold choice these days. It looked amazing. Can you tell me a little bit about the process of working with 16?
Sure, I didn't shoot it. My cinematographer, Alex Botten, who did used to live in Nelson, shot it. He now lives in Kelowna. But first, I just want to ask, is Jesse still here? Jesse, there he is. So Jesse Pinera, he's the owner of Nelson Boxing Club, the gym, and he wrote that script and performed it. So big round of applause. But yeah, working with film was a really interesting experience. It was my first time working with film, and it's so because it's a finite resource, and everything has to be planned meticulously and rehearsed over and over again, because you only get like a couple of shots at it before your film runs out. And then you can't review what you've done like you can with digital cameras now. So you just kind of cross your fingers and hope that what you send away to get processed and scanned comes back, and that you have something, and luckily we did.
And all the sound done like post, so you didn't have to go back for lines and that kind of thing.